Was it Ham? Well, if there's one guy who can change the betting land.
Virtus Pro versus Team Secret.
Okay, now you can carry on, Arg.
I think you're doing great, Pyrion.
Shut up.
Was that the tiebreaker question?
Yeah, that was the tiebreaker. Congratulations, Billy.
It helps if the quizmaster has the correct answers.
Yeah.
Someone forgot to give you.
Yeah. Thanks, Knoxville.
Anyway, we are into the draft for Virtus Pro versus Team Secret. Game 1, of course, it is a best of 3, but a reminder for you, it is lower bracket. So win this one, you're in the top 6, guaranteed. Outside of it, you finish 7th to 8th.
Lina has to be addressed, I think. Either first pick or first ban, I would say.
I think Naga as well, like both the teams play a very good Naga. So I feel like the team on the second phase, second pick, kind of has to ban it.
I think you ban it against Secret though, unless you, yeah, as you say, you could maybe go to it, but then you're also giving away strong heroes such as Lina. I think if you play against Secret, just ban Naga, honestly. They utilize it too well.
But it depends on the trade-off like you're getting, how much you're getting for the Naga though. If it's a 1-for-1, it's still alright. But if you're giving away 2 heroes, then you have to reconsider.
Well, obviously, but I think if you give away a combination for Lina into something can be extremely dangerous. So that's why I say it. Picking up the Naga first might be not worth it. See Naga not being banned, Lina as well, and Queen of Pain in the mix still. Along with Undying and Tusk, some of them.
I think Naga's better than Lina. I would rather have Naga than Lina personally.
I believe it's going to be a first pick, yeah.
So say VP starts with a Naga. Secret will reply with Lina +1.
10 seconds remaining.
Which Lina Bounty Hunter was what they went for yesterday.
5 seconds remaining.
They could go for a lot of different things. I think they're going to wait with the support picks a little bit. At least Puppy's hero.
Maybe the Wyvern or the Dazzle.
Yeah, exactly. They could go for Wyvern.
Or Darkseer, actually.
Darkseer is possible.
Lina.
Darkseer.
Oh, what a surprise.
What do you think that they answer with here? Because obviously having Nagastar, you have the choice to go for combinations. We haven't seen a lot of people use the Disruptor much at all.
Yeah, it's like mostly because he's weak in a lane though. Like he somewhat falls into the category of Lion. Very weak at the start.
I don't think he's Lion weak in laning phase.
Yeah, he's not as weak as Lion, but at the same time, he doesn't do very well if it's a pressure lane against 2 durable strength heroes.
I don't know. He can contribute quite a bit. He has 160 damage on his level 1 nuke, which is more than almost any hero. So early game, I think is really strong. It's more that he doesn't bring as much damage into the ganks. That's what I think is the...
Yeah, he doesn't do damage. That's the main thing before he has his ultimate. And we see VP going against with their classic Naga Silencer. They control the whole team fight of the game with these 2 heroes.
Yeah, you can silence or song. You can always disjoint. Extremely valuable against Darkseer as well. So this is a good setup for Virtus Pro. Secret have to be aware of that.
Yeah, but we
have something stable.
When we saw the Silencer yesterday, I think it was the game where Complexity picked Chen. Chen could be a hero that actually gives Silencer problems in the early laning phase. Like you can't really escape from a Chen gun if you're Silencer.
But at the same time, have we seen Chen win a single game at main event? We've seen it played by amazing players. I mean, they ran it with Complexity, Team Secret, they played it with Puppy playing it, but they all lost.
I think we saw one at the group stage, maybe.
Yeah, at group stage,
Yeah.
but...
It was only Puppy is the only one that's won on it, and that was back in the group stage. It's had 3 losses and 1 win.
We saw Silencer have a really tough time versus Brood. I know that they have Darkseer already as an offlaner, but you know, if you're Secret, you could pull a mind game. Hey, we're gonna pick Darkseer, make you not ban Brood.
I mean, Brood mid.
Yeah.
You can put the Brood mid against the Silencer if you want to.
Against Secret, you kind of have to ban the Brood. Zaya has played it so well in the group stage. It's just terrifying. And especially when you run the Silencer Naga yourself, it's not good heroes against it.
Because you're not really team fighting at all, which is where these 2 heroes excel. You don't even get to that phase of the game generally.
No, she just takes over and makes you play like similarly to how we saw Teki destroy a game in last game or yesterday. Broodmother can also just change how you play Dota. Oh, they're actually gonna ban out the Luna hero that has been popularized.
I mean, to be fair, Secret has the Darkseer, which is played by the same person. So with the Brood, so there's also a likely chance that Secret would not actually want to go into the Brood.
Maybe.
I mean, they could always run it as like a 4 though, right?
You mean the Darkseer?
Yeah.
I mean, when you have Darkseer, I feel your job has to be somewhat team fight focused. Darkseer and Brood, it's like they're opposite of each other. They don't do the same thing in the game.
they crush Silencer.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Like, if you have the Brute, it's just solely for the laning purposes against the Silencer, but you have to be on that lane for that to happen.
Oh, we're gonna see a Shaker or something coming up here. They need a quick hero that can work before the silence comes off. I just wonder what they want to go for here, Secret. I think Shadow Fiend is, well, Shadow Fiend was banned. That would have been such a good hero for them to have. Something along that line could be a great carry for him.
I think maybe Spirit Breaker can work very well against Silencer because, like, when the ultimate of Silencer is down, the weakness is it's a long cooldown. So you want to have heroes that take very good fights in skirmishes, fight very well in small skirmishes. So you make the best of when the cooldowns are down for the Silencer and the Naga.
Shaker.
Yeah, that's a good way to approach it. They do have the low cooldown combination though from just Fissure, Light Strike Array, Dragon Slave. That's very often enough to kill a hero. So at least they have that going now with the Shaker coming in. What do you make of this draft, Perion? Do you like it?
I hate Silencer with a passion. He's one of my most hated heroes to play against.
What hero do you love? Because I know you
I
hate
love
a lot of
I love Darkseer and Earthshaker.
Yeah?
They're my jam.
So you're on Secret on this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Lina too, but for different reasons.
All right then.
Her versatility, guys, come on.
Of course.
Keep it professional, for Christ.
Yeah, the fact that she can be mid or support, that's what you were going
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Overpowered hero.
Yeah, that's
In
just
more
great,
ways
Ted.
than one. Because of her versatility. Anyway, Silencer, yeah. Well, I don't like heroes like this that ruin the fact that casting spells is kind of a big part of this game. Like, if you have to get an Orchid or something, I get it. You know, you get a payoff, that's the payoff. But Silencer makes an entire team just like, well, good luck.
You can
know?
just play like Wraith King or something.
Yeah. Well, that's my jam right there. You know that.
Lone Druid, the counter.
Skeleton King.
Shout out to my man Plague. He's the best Lone Druid player I know. Apart from, you know, Bulldog.
Some tryhard. All right, so we're gonna see more Rubik. I think after people saw FY, they're just going, oh, I want to play it too. You know, honestly,
There's,
they just see.
there's a problem there, though. They're not FY.
Well, they can dream. They can dream. It is a very
was
nice.
fantastic yesterday, though, as well, wasn't it?
It is a very nice game to play it, though. There's a Lina in the enemy team. There's a Shaker. Even Darkseer, you can make use of his vacuum or his wall in some cases. It's not terrible spells. Surge can work also early game.
Do you think like the third place Rubik pick is like saying, okay, you've got some good spells to steal, and now you probably aren't going to want to pick any more heroes that have good spells to steal. So it's sort of like a stopper.
Yeah, because Secret are kind of going into some combination draft here, right? Which is hard against the Silencer and Naga already, but now there's also Rubik to steal the big spells that are going to go into this. Because this type of draft, honestly, you wouldn't be surprised to see more huge spells coming out from Secret.
What do you do against a Silencer? Like, what's the? I mean, apart from Lone Druid, like you were saying.
Get on top of him. That's how you gotta approach it. You have to have a hero that can close the distance. That's why I like the ban by Virtus Pro to ban out the PL in the second phase. Because that's one of those heroes that are hard to deal with.
I think you can just end the game early too. Like if they mess up one ulti, that ulti is like super long cooldown. Something like Lycan, you know, can push high ground very early.
Right.
130 seconds to end the game sometimes can be enough. Like just one team fight outside the base where he wastes ulti, you have 2 full minutes to regroup and push base. So there's a lot of pressure on the Silencer player always to time his ulti perfectly.
Yeah.
Winter, you've been very quiet. What are you thinking about?
He's strategizing.
He is.
Well, I'm thinking the same thing as Ben as well. I feel like if you have such a hard team fight to go in, you can probably just go into more split push, like what he mentioned before the Lycan. I think the Tusk here would actually mean that it's probably going to be a Tusk plus Darkseer, I feel, the double Iron Shell Snowball. And if Silencer happens to be on the safe lane, he's going to have trouble against that. It's going to be very easy to kill him.
They picked the Tusk for the same reason that you suggested a Spirit Breaker. They want initiation, they want someone who can fight with low cooldown, small fight, skirmishes all over the map is what Secret seem to be going for.
Yeah, and break him down in the early lane. A lot of times we see Silencer with completely uncontested farm, and he is really weak in the early game, I would say, especially with a 0-2-2 build. Like, you're not going to be orbing people in a 3-on-3 situation because you might just die.
Nahans isn't here, so I will bring a stat. This is one of the questions that I didn't get a chance to ask. Lina and Tusk, the most picked pairing, TI, 27 times with a record of 15 and 12.
I think a lot of it.
This job is easy. What?
It comes from LGD.
Oh yeah.
They pick it a lot in the group and the main stage games.
It's super strong.
I'm waiting for the American sports analogy.
If you think about football, XXX, something about football. That's Nahaz. That's as good as I can do. Sorry, Nahaz. I'll practice it.
At least you didn't call it American football.
What did I call it?
You called it just regular football.
Well, he wouldn't call it American football. I don't think I've ever met an American that calls football American football, but they should. Because we all know what real football is, Paul, right? This end of the desk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Although I have to say I kind of like the NFL.
Don't bail on it. Back me up.
Sorry.
He wants to get away from here alive. That's why.
Behold the horn of Magnus.
Ah, the Magnus
Oh,
pick.
man.
Turn to Ben.
So they have the RP and the song combination now, and if Rubik gets a good AoE steal as well, they can pull some nice combos here.
It's only the 7th pick. It's TI5 for Magnus.
It also suggests that there's going to be a melee carry coming out from Virtus Pro. If we assume it's going to be a support Naga and Rubik, then they're still looking for one carry or a mid laner if
I think
depending how they
carry
wanna
is
use
much
Silencer.
more possible for melee hero to come out right now, I feel.
Sven. Could be Sven, maybe.
Slug, we've seen Slug today. Slug is really good with Magnus, and if you look at their lineup,
Medusa, man.
Medusa.
And I mean, Illidan loves to play Slark, and with Empower, you can make so much happen. You can farm faster and get your item progression, and when Slark gets a few items, he just demolishes teams.
Yeah, and you usually say that Slug is weak against a lot of AoE, but this game they have Silencer, so when he goes in, he has that backup.
Yeah, they can bail him out.
So he doesn't have to worry, he can play very aggressive and just go in with the global silence, helping him out all the time.
That's some like dirty team fights if you think about it. If they pick Slark, they have the
Templar
song, the
Assassin.
silence, and then you have the Slark ulti as well. He would be so hard to bring down. All right.
That's really difficult for VP to deal with because she doesn't get affected really by global at all. She can just kill you through it easily.
She is great against every single hero that's picked on Virtus Pro. Best one is like Rubik. You can stop her a little bit.
20th time of picking at TI5, and so far with a 63.2% win rate.
Not bad. Impressive hero, would you say?
Well, a small sample size.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, it takes the player, right?
So do you go for a melee
5 seconds
carry now, or do you dump Silencer in the safe lane and go for something that can actually counter TA? Because Silencer does, we've seen it, I think actually VP plays Silencer versus TA. It was like okay, but Sumail ended up destroying them at the end. So I don't know how willing they are to put that matchup in the mid.
I mean, Silencer is not terrible against TA mid. You can definitely play that if you want. Oh.
Come on, guys. Come on. Come on.
That what?
The Illidan Dusa.
We have another
Maximum respect.
a first-time pick at TI5 as well. That's another one. 2 games in a row now. The pool is shrinking. There are only 19 heroes left in the pool that have not played at least one game.
You guys didn't even let me talk about it. Shame on you.
We'll get more afterwards.
I'll
Hold
high
that thought.
five you in the break.
Let's head down to the commentary team for game number 1.
That's right, another elimination match on our hands. Virtus Pro facing up against Team Secret, who are supposed to be the favorites of this tournament, are now seeing their tournament lives on hand against VP. Blitz, you had a lot to say about this draft, starting off with the Lina carry. You had this one from the get-go. In the first 1-2, you said this is either a Lina support or a Lina safe lane farmer. Why is that?
Sorry, I saw some sign. It's
Don't get distracted by the memes.
It's all good, dude. All right, so I think part of what makes Lina such a strong opener instead of Queen of Pain is that you can run her in pretty much any lane. Like, you can run her as a carry, a support. I think it's just one of the most safe openers that you can go for. And I feel like S4 was going to play it almost guaranteed just because once the Queen of Pain is banned, I feel like those are the 2 heroes that he's most comfortable with at this point. Playing the Queen of Pain in the carry role, playing the Lina. They just want him to play the playmaker role more than the actual one-position hard carry like Arteezy will play. Like, even though Arteezy's in this mid lane, he's the true carry.
Right, it harkens back to the old Evil Geniuses when Arteezy was playing there, being the carry mid. It seems that's going to continue here with Team Secret. But what about this last pick from Virtus Pro, the Medusa? Hero we haven't seen hardly at all in this patch. Why is this our last pick?
I think in this game in particular, you have a lot of different ways to defend her. It's a Silencer who will be playing in the mid lane, so he'll get level 6 relatively early, and he'll get a good amount of farm, but they have a lot of different ways to protect the Medusa. This is a hero that toe-to-toe can stand up against pretty much anybody on Secret. It's going to be incredibly hard for them to burst her down, even with the Luna Aghanim Scepter, and so I think it just works incredibly well for their draft.
Yeah, certainly a big late game advantage to Virtus Pro, so Team Secret are going to have to play this a lot more aggressively, perhaps more aggressively than they're used to. You can see already S4 getting some free shots against DK Phobos. He does secure the Bounty Rune, and so too does God grab the Bounty Rune for his Silencer. So VP already with a great start there, especially with Lil doing some body blocking. What about this mid matchup? Templar Assassin versus Silencer. Is this going to be like a couple levels in Curse of the Silent just to try and put some pressure on that refraction?
I don't think so. You can grab 1 or 2 levels, but I just feel like maxing the Glaives of Wisdom is so strong, which he's going to go for right now. The attack speed on Silencer is actually quite good, but G's got to be careful because the Earthshaker is going to be there with the stun, and it's a pretty okay matchup as long as you don't overextend. You can go for the last word. What he's doing right now is really smart. He's just right-clicking RTZ non-stop because RTZ actually went for the Wraith Band, meaning that he's got 3 refraction charges by my count. Like he could use it 3 times, and if he just gets zoned out like this and you pull creep aggro correctly, the TA actually can't stand in the lane.
Yeah, especially now with Curse of the Silent taking away more of those refractions. Soon as he sees the refraction popped, he immediately uses that Curse of the Silent to put more pressure on RTZ, especially since he's not going to be getting that quick bottle, at least not fast enough. He will run out of those charges, and G may be able to take control of this lane. Now, let's talk about some of our other off lanes, such as DK Phobos, who has to use the Skewer to be able to get away from the Tuscalina combination at bottom. It seems like a very kill-heavy combo between these two. DK Phobos is going to have to play this a bit careful.
I actually think this is a lane he's going to do okay in, or at least get levels, because when you're playing a core Lina, especially in the short lane, the weakness is you either go for the CS or your last hitting, or you're right-clicking him, and most of the time you're just going to be playing the CS deny game, which he's doing right now. And DK Phobos, as long as he only approaches when he has mana for Skewer and the cooldown off, he should be perfectly fine.
All he has to do is make sure he stays ahead of the Snowball and ahead of the Ice Shards. If he can't get the Skewer off, he'll easily be chain stunned down and perhaps may end up dying. Zai, meanwhile, is going to be our other offlaner. He's going to be playing the Darkseer, just picking up the Bounty Rune at the top lane. He's going up against the Dusa, Lil's Rubik, as well as FNG's Naga Siren. Now, this is another one of those safe laners, despite the fact that it is a hard carry. Oh God, it's going to be not quite caught out. The Ice Shards and Fissure combination doesn't block him in, and he will be able to escape and continue his pressure immediately onto RTZ. But going back to it, a safe laner who is actually self-sufficient. After a certain amount of time, you can afford to leave the Medusa alone in a lane against a Darkseer.
Yeah, she can pretty much zone him out. The build that he's going for is that Mystic Stake really, really, really strongly, and so he should be able to kill the Ion Shell creep really easily. Right now, what causes me concern for Secret more than anything is this mid lane, where G, I mean, Silencer's a hero that just naturally dominates the lane. You can't really go up against him toe-to-toe, and one of the weaknesses of TA is that she does a good job CSing, but it's really hard to pressure with her pre-level 6, and you're seeing that right now because he's pretty much just spamming to keep her out of the lane, and this is not something you want if you're Team Secret. Like, I'm used to seeing RTZ pretty much dominate the mid matchup, or at least win heavily in CS.
Yeah, he's actually being forced to do a little bit of neutraling. Now, he does have the hard camp that's stacked up a couple times, and that will be a good way for him to come back into the game. But for now, hold up, Snowball, DK Phobos, Fissure, Light Strike Array, wills land, and DK Phobos is not going to be able to get the Skewer in time. S4 picks up the first blood.
Yeah, they just played the spacing game perfectly there. Puppey with a really nice Fissure, and Secret set that up really well, but this is a lane that you expect for them to get a kill here.
Yeah, absolutely. DK Phobos, as you said, should be able to get a decent amount of experience and maybe even some CS via the Shockwave, but it's just the triple stun lane that's tough for any offlaner. RTZ now comes back with full HP, full mana, and then is immediately rebuffed by G. Already brought down to below half HP and is rapidly running out of tangos.
Yeah, and this is no longer a matchup, I think, where they can gank for him anymore, or it doesn't really matter if they gank him because he has boots. This is going to be incredibly hard to kill him, and they might actually just make an attempt for him here mid.
Yeah,
They've
slowing him
levels
down.
of the last word. This might actually just kill him. One more hit.
Yeah, they're going to slow him down with the last word. Couple more right clicks. G, it is nighttime, making it a lot harder. He's going to live with 49 HP. Now G is in some serious trouble. Kuro actually picks up some illusions. G turns around trying to go for RTZ, but he pops a refraction, and G will end up going down. Silencer just getting a bit too aggressive, searching for that kill on Artur. It would have been a big boon for VP's laning phase if they'd gotten that kill, but the result is Secret are able to sneak in with their supports and get the counter kill.
I think in some ways that just goes to show how much respect they have for Arteezy, because that dive was probably not going to be successful in any case.
Right.
You can dance around the tree line at nighttime. The Silencer doesn't have the best way to spot you. Both of his spells were on CD, but he dove it so hard because there was a chance at killing him. And the TP support is there. Enough people come in and they were able to kill him, but this is still a lane that G is doing fine in. The TA isn't dominating, and she struggled pretty hard. She still doesn't have boots yet, fully completes the Magic Wand before anything, and this is going to be a really crucial stack for her. This should be her level 6, and from here on out, you can finally see TA start to pressure the Silencer.
Yeah, finally with being able to have the traps, you have kill potential solo against the Silencer. Just lay down 1 or 2 traps. This, of course, means it's a little bit important for VP to either always have a support behind G, or even laying down an early counter ward, just to make sure the middle lane is cleared of those pesky traps. But while Arteezy is farming up that hard camp, we've got Kuro, who's now going to take over the middle lane, getting that free experience. And our Magnus, DK Phobos, is actually just now heading back to lane. Comparing him as well as the offlaner Zai, he's level 4 and Zai is only level 3. Even when VP have rotated their supports into the middle lane, Zai is still not catching up to the Magnus.
It's just one of those lanes where he can't really afford to come up because Lil is just going to give him the right click, right click, right click. So he just has to stand back, spam Ion Shell pretty much, hope that the lane pushes up. I'd actually kind of like to see him just go to the jungle because he's not really pressuring the Medusa too much here. Like, she's perfectly fine when it comes to HP. She's got phase boots now too, level 4 Mystic Snake. It's going to be really, really, really hard for him to pressure him at all. So I think it's more important that Zai actually starts to get some amount of farm. But the reason he can't go there is because Arteezy just cleared out most of the jungle camps.
Now here's a big advantage, especially with the change-up of some of the neutrals, such as Mud Golems now having a mana pool. You can easily clear through stacks with Mystic Snake because most of these neutrals do have a mana pool you're going to be able to leech from. You can just constantly spam this out over and over again. So Illidan is going to spend some time clearing through both this medium camp as well as a hard camp that's available to him and leave the top lane to DK Phobos, who's going to need some gold. Just getting the experience by itself is not good enough. You really need that Blink Dagger on a mag.
Yeah, Arteezy, even with all those stacks, is still only level 6. Whereas if you look at G, he is level 7. And I think the last time they played Silencer mid, he actually didn't get a lot of farmer levels, which is pretty typical of a Silencer mid. The weakness of the lane is just that it's incredibly easy to die. Almost any dive kills you.
Right.
So you need to have a really good start, but Arteezy might just pick up Illidan here, and
no,
he's
they're going to
looking
go for Lil instead, it looks like. They still have the 2-man smoke. They're going to come over.
He's got a global
there as well. They're going to go for G. We'll be able to catch him out. The burst damage isn't quite there. He's going to be able to get away thanks to the telekinesis of Lil. Now S4 is going to have their turnaround with a global silence. They pick up the free intelligence, and now Arteezy, well, he's stuck in a bad place here. He's got the TP, but can he actually get out of this situation? It's all 5 of VP running him down, and Arteezy is definitely dead. +4 intelligence already for the Silencer.
And this is so significant. These are the 2 cores from Secret that invaded so far into VP's jungle. So it costs VP almost nothing, no time at all. They'll just go back to their fountain. It's a really short trip. They can heal up, where Secret lose a lot out of that. Like the fact that S4 was pretty much free farming at bottom, and then he commits to that, and they don't even get a kill. And the other thing is you just fed 4 intelligence away to the Silencer at the same time. And TA especially can't afford to do that.
Right, she's incredibly dependent on the very limited mana pool that she has, so losing some of that intelligence is going to be difficult. Artur pushing forward, trying to catch him. Beautiful Ice Shards. God, in some serious trouble, doesn't have the global silence and will just be burst down. In fact, VP even canceling the TP there, knowing that there's nothing they could do to save their mid.
That was just Kuro with absolute sick Ice Shards. He placed those so well, there was no way he could get out, and it kept him stuck there for the entire duration. Well played by Secret, and they're putting a lot of pressure on this mid Silencer, and they should. It's a lane that's incredibly weak, and you want to be able to punish it as much as you can. He has no escape mechanism, and it's not even that great if he gets, if he's under-farmed, it's incredibly bad, right? So you want to just put the pressure on him if there's anybody that you want to just put pressure on. And Illidan's going to rotate in mid because he's the tankiest by far, and they have to rotate him anytime they want to defend the tower. But what Secret are going to do is actually just rotate top because they know that a lot of heroes have rotated mid.
Yeah, essentially they're going to stay one step ahead of Virtus Pro. VP can't really get into a full-on team fight just yet, especially with Global Silence still down, so...
They should glyph this.
Yeah. Alright, they don't actually pop it, that's fine. Tower still going to go down anyway to Zai. You get some much needed recovery gold there.
He's doing a good job right now, though. He's finally caught up. 25 CS and a tower kill. That's not too bad for Darkseer, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, I'm still a bit concerned. Let's talk about Medusa item builds here, because Medusa is obviously one of the key factors for Virtus Pro in this game. Item-wise, what do you like to see from Medusa nowadays? Do you like to see a more aggressive hold-up? Zai's going to be caught here, telekinesis, and going to be bursted down nice and quick. The TP out is not going to be in time. Just too many heroes there.
Yeah, and Illidan gets the last hit. That helps her so much, but you were asking about item builds on Dusa. Scotty is incredibly common just because of what it gives you. It gives you a slow, which Medusa sorely needs. She gets kited so easily. This game, going for something like drums into like point booster isn't a bad idea either. The point booster just is one of the most value items in the game for the Medusa.
Yeah.
If you want to go for the drums, it means that you're typically going to be in a lot more early game engagements. You can go for the Lincolns here, I guess.
I feel like there's a lot of value in the just Yasha to begin with as well, and then you can choose your item build from there. Potentially going to Yasha, which is such a huge increase in farming speed for Medusa due to the both damage and attack speed increase. Illidan is trying to chase down S4 right now. DK Phobos does have an RP, but they're not actually going to go for S4. Just chasing him back. But yeah, like Yasha, and then you can make the decision perhaps to go into the Scotty or perhaps a Manta. There used to be the item build a lot of Lincolns, but it seems nowadays in the last few patches where we do see Dusa, it's just too slow of an item build, not enough offense.
Yeah, that's why you don't see heroes like Morph so much anymore, because they rely on items like Lincolns. But this mid
he's going to pop the global silence, but they're inside of the snowball. That means they are not silenced up, and G will go down. The telekinesis is going to be able to catch Kuro, though. RP being faked out. DK Phobos doesn't need it, though, and Zai, he's going to be caught too. Illidan, look into my eyes. He's going to be able to pick up that kill as well.
That's really good for VP, but at the same time, that silencer's dirt poor. He's not going to have a lot of impact. He needs items. Make no mistake about it. Silencer's the type of hero that if you don't have items, you can't just solely rely on levels to be able to bail yourself out.
Right.
Like there are some heroes in the mid lane where it doesn't matter too much. An SF will eventually catch up because he can go to the jungle, but Silencer doesn't have that same amount of space.
Yeah, this is why you would sometimes see the carry silencers going for the Hand of Midas, just because both levels and farm were so critical. Illidan's going to be caught here, Light Strike Array combination, but of course, Illidan is so tanky thanks to that level 3 mana shield. They get the deny in the end, but Illidan is now blocked out, and the snowball grabs everybody through. DK Phobos, he missed the cure, still going to be getting a 3-man RP. They need to get Virtus Pro out of here, though. FNG, there goes the Laguna Blade. Ice Shards on top of the Magnus as well, and FNG is going to be caught. Arteezy runs him down easily with the Ion Shell, and it's only really G. He may not even survive. As the trap goes off, slows him down. Ice Shards blocking him out. Lil comes in, trying to stop this aggression, but a snowball will still be able to bring them into the tier 3 tower. Fisher goes out, slowing down Lil. They're going in deep to the enemy base, but there's no buybacks from VP. Girls dropping lower and lower. They'll pick up that kill. Arteezy just has the refraction to survive. He's going to TP out and will be able to get away. A 1-for-4 exchange to the favor of Secret.
And this is the lineup that Secret wanted to play. They just wanted to get aggressive as fast as possible. A hero like Medusa has such a slow startup. Same with a hero like Silencer. I mean, what does a Silencer do in a situation like that? He watches the enemy team dive his tier 4s, and he doesn't really have an option of helping out the rest of his team. That's the weakness of it. You can't really provide anything but the team fight utility. Your actual damage is a little bit too low. You don't have a disable to go along with your hero, and I mean, G's struggling. Secret have just made it such a priority to slow him down as much as possible.
You can see after that team fight, Secret now raised up to a 3,000 net worth lead over VP. And I think you're right. I mean, in general, VP from the get-go, looking at their draft, it's rather passive. It doesn't do a whole lot in the first 20 minutes of the game. All 3 cores rely on a certain amount of farm. Even the offlaner, Magnus, needs his Blink Dagger before he's truly effective. And the supports as well are a little bit low on damage. Rubik isn't known for being terribly offensive. He just combos well with other heroes. And then, of course, you've got the Naga Siren, who is more defensive in nature due to the ultimate.
Yeah, I think the net is just really good against both the Templar Assassin and the Darkseer. And the sleep can bail your Medusa out and reset for your Magnus, but the problem, as you saw, is that when DK Phobos missed the skewer, even if he hits it there, I think they still can't win the fight, because they just don't have the damage in this early game to back it up. What VP right now have to do is just play incredibly passively, push out the lanes using the Magnus Shockwave, get a Blink Dagger, and just hope that Illidan can get 6-slotted, because it's really, really difficult for them to fight before he has at least 2 major items.
Right. The limited amount of damage on the side of VP just seems like it's not going to be enough to kill anybody on the side of Team Secret for a long time now, especially with the mech now being picked up by Zai. You can see they're going for a 4-man smoke here. If they get the right pick off, they can turn this into another objective, maybe even take an early Roshan. But Virtus.pro are centering up at the top lane, playing very defensively around their tier 2 towers right now. It seems they do have some sort of idea that Secret are looking for a game.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Our Secret are really aware of where VP are right now. When you're playing this defensively, your jungle is going to be your sanctuary, but VP, if you notice their positioning, they're 5-man. They're doing the family style farming right now.
Yeah.
They're so afraid to leave each other. They have to rely on FNG sleep to be able to get them out, but this is so inefficient. And it's actually kind of working out because nobody from Secret is farming to punish them. And Secret's going to say, okay, if you're just going to stay in your own jungle, then we'll decide to farm out everywhere. Like Arteezy's going to go top and then take these 2 camps pretty much as long as he wants.
Right.
And then the rest of his team can pretty much take their own jungle and spread out the lanes as they push in.
Yeah, if you put pressure on these towers, you're going to force eventually Virtus.pro to split up a little bit, and maybe you can find your opening. Bottom lane, Eul's Scepter is going to be able to catch DK Phobos, trying to blow him up with Laguna Blade. They do get it. Lil stole that Laguna Blade and is going to hold on to it for later. So might still be able to get a turnaround kill, though. Great pick off for S4 on the offlane Magnus, slowing down that Blink Dagger even further.
You trade a spell for a mag kill, you do that every single time. Like, you're trying to slow down this Blink Dagger as much as possible. If you look at VP's lineup, there's almost zero way for them to initiate. You can use the Naga Sleep to lead the fight, but you don't want to do that. That's your safety mechanism. That's your, okay, our Medusa's about to die, and I can't let her lose all this network ability. And without that Blink Dagger, their supports are terrible at initiating. You've got a Medusa that's an incredibly static hero, and the Silencer is the same way. You're waiting for them to take fights into you before you global silence.
See some lines already being drawn at that bottom lane. Looks like Kuro wants to be able to push down that tier 1 tower. And this, if they can actually get that tier 1 tower, Puppey is very close to his Blink Dagger already. He may have it before the Magnus, and that'll be huge. VP are actually going for a 4-man smoke gank right now. They're going to try and pick off Arteezy, who does not have any sort of Blink Dagger. A way to get out of this one. Telekinesis ensnared up and easily bursted down. Even the Laguna Blade being used in there from Lil, just to make sure they get that pick off.
That's more in for G. He almost has the Rod of Atos. DK Phobos is really close to his Blink Dagger after getting that kill. So that was a significant one, but still, it requires pretty much everybody from VP every single time. And that's kind of okay. It's not an ideal situation, but at the same time, you are picking up kills. And the point of this lineup is not to fight in the mid game. The point of this lineup is just get your Medusa farmed up, hope for RPs, and you can hold the game indefinitely with those 2 spells.
Right. Look at the very aggressive vision being placed by Team Secret. Pretty much saying if VP want to play really defensively around their tier 2 towers, that's fine. We just don't want to give them too much room to farm up. If they ever venture outside of the base, they want to be able to counter them. I love this early Desolator pickup from Arteezy, despite the fact that this build, maybe got him caught in that top lane with really no way of escape. This will allow him to be able to put a lot of solo pressure on the top lane, quickly pushing down the creep wave and threatening those tier 2 towers.
I think he goes for the Roshan at some point too. They've got enough map control that they can go for it. The danger here though is that, again, you don't know how close DK Phobos is to that Blink Dagger. And at the same time, you've got a lot of different spells to fight in the Rosh Pit. FNG has the Sleep, you've got the Global Silence. You can Global Silence Sleep, one of the 2, and then just walk into the Rosh Pit and look for a fight. So Secret, I think they're going to try to go for a smoke gank beforehand and then establish tempo again.
Ward being placed, but there was already a counter there. And this also makes Secret realize that there is going to be a smoke. FNG, okay, this is going to be an offensive sleep for them to try.
They got to get a lot out of this.
This is really dangerous. They pop the global silence. RP on 2, but S4 has already managed to get the
They just don't have the damage.
They're going to try and burst down DK Phobos. Kuro is going to be the target. Snowball going to run into 2 here. Illidan, meanwhile, just trying to get the rest of his team out of this one with his ultimate. But Secret are still going to be able to search for it. They're going for Lil right now. Puppey comes in with the Echo Slam on top of the vacuum. Beautiful combination. Taken out 2. The slow is there on FNG as well as God. Puppey looking for the Fisher, catches at least G. That's going to be a 3rd kill coming out as Kuro kills him with the Ice Shards. Now FNG runs into 1 trap, a secondary 1, trying to TP up, but the snowball is going to be there in time. A 4th kill for Team Secret. VP, it seemed like a very odd moment to go for a bit of aggression there. The offensive sleep did not work out at all. VP just, as you said, do not have the damage.
That's the thing is, you're 200 gold away from your Blink Dagger and your Magnus, and then you don't have to expend the sleep. You can just look for the RP and hope that you catch at least 2 there, and then you realize that that fight's going terribly, and you're like, this is terrible, like, we should not have done this, regrets, and then you just sleep and get out. But without that sleep there, you're hard committed to the fight at that point.
Right.
You win that fight or you lose 5. That's actually how that fight goes at that point. And I mean, we saw it right there. That's the weakness of having supports like this and having the lead with that, because Zai just popped the mech, full HP.
And now, as you said, they're going to be able to take Roshan. Lil is showing himself. Slow him down with Fisher, lock him in with the ice shards too. Lil can't go anywhere. He may have to just TP out for fear of Snowball. Sure enough, here it comes. They go into Lil. DK Phobos managed to grab 2 with the skewer, but there's still just not enough damage. They're trying to pop Kuro right now, but Illidan pops the ultimate, will be able to get the right clicks in. Arteezy is stunned up. Turned into that Storm's block, but Illidan is completely blocked out now. Yule Scepter into the Light Strike array, will be able to control him. Laguna Blade to pop him. Arteezy will lose his Aegis now, but it's still going to be a good fight for Team Secret. Backing you up too. God trying to get whatever damage he can before he dies. FNG will be able to successfully TP out, and DK Phobos just stays out of that fight almost entirely after his skewer. VP once again going into a fight that just cannot be won.
They just walked in again. They got caught by that Roshan pit, which is unfortunate, but they lose 3 for the price of 1. Not worth it at all. Another huge gold swing. And that's 12K already at 21 minutes. And Secret's lineup was built to do this. They were meant to just continuously run at the lineup of VP until VP breaks, but you still have to look at VP's lineup and say that there are ways back in.
Nice steal, beautiful. Lil catching him with the telekinesis and turning the Fisher back around Puppey, but he's actually still staying alive. He gets the creep aggro off from Lil, gets the last right click. Now an RP into Arteezy. They need to control him underneath the tower, but he instantly blinks away. Thank you, Blink Dagger. Now actually a beautiful Mel dodges the ensnare as well. Arteezy's gonna get out of here. Zai, he's gonna be in a bit of trouble. Has already used his surge on Artur, but it's gonna be fine. VP slowed down by the trap, will not be able to catch up.
That was just pure out team play right there. Zai comes in, he's barely any mana at all, saves Arteezy, who dodges the net with that half-second meld, continues to run, and they just don't have damage right now. DK Phobos commits the skewer RP, doesn't do anything. They actually can't burst him down anymore. They have to just wait for this Medusa to get 6-slotted. I think VP just have to start to realize the facts of the matter and say, okay, we can't take a fight at this point, just play incredibly defensive. And they can play like that, but they just choose to take fights at their tier 2, and they're going to lose heroes for it. And I think VP just play defensive, wait it out. Their lineup is incredibly strong at the ultra late game. You've got a Medusa with a Magnus on top of that. No reason to take fights in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the net worth chart, you could see a very dramatic difference. Once VP chose to go for that initial sleep, offensive sleep fight, the net worth changed dramatically. Team Secret were only about 5,000 net worth ahead, and then 2 really bad team fights, and all of a sudden they're above 12,000.
I think VP are just getting a little bit too skittish, which is perfectly fine in this situation. They're not 100% certain if they can win a fight or not, but they decide to go for it, and you learn that lesson, and I think VP is going to learn off of that, especially in this game, and just say, okay, let's play a little bit more passively, let's wait for our opportunities, and they're a good enough team to still win this.
It's going to be all about playing defense right now. Team Secret is already knocking on that tier 3, the top lane. Arteezy with that Desolator, putting in the damage fast. The rest of VP are actually looking to take that tier 1 bottom, but they are going to be forced back. They have to stay 5-man constantly, so the moment Illidan goes up to the top lane, everybody else has to retreat.
So right now, the Magnus, one of the best high ground defense heroes in the game, just because you can drag people back to your tier 3s. And that's what you're looking for right now. But Secret, what they're probably going to do is just farm out the map, wait for the next Roshan, maybe even smoke and bait VP into thinking they're going for the Rosh and force a sleep. Even if VP get away from that at that point, you've committed to sleep and you know you can take the Roshan no matter what. There's no reason to push preemptively before that. Like, Arteezy's not that tanky, actually. He can still die quite easily. He's gone for this really ultra glass cannon build with the Deso, Blink Dagger, and Yasha.
Right.
Without a BKB, it's incredibly easy to kill him still.
Nice blink away there from DK Phobos. Arteezy will just take the creeps he was trying to farm up. And it feels like VP are going to have to pick up some items that allow them to kite Team Secret around, particularly Arteezy's Templar Assassin, who, as you said, does have such an offensive build. I feel like a Force Staff is really necessary. DK Phobos, maybe even the Silencer picks one up as well. Ghost Scepters, another item that may be necessary.
Oh, they're sandwiching right here.
They're going to try and go for S4. He does have the Eul Scepter, will be caught by the RP. Virtus.pro are willing to throw everything they have to be able to make sure they get a pick off there, but at the same time, with Global Silence and Illidan popping his ultimate, Team Secret will not be able to get anything else, but Arteezy's already there in that top lane, putting pressure on the tier 3. Lil, kind of skittish, doesn't really want to challenge him too much. VP, God was kind of trapped there in the middle lane, but now, oop, there's the sleep. FNG going to make sure that Kuro doesn't get out of this one. There's still the snowball, though. Still a lot of potential for Kuro to maybe get out of this one. The snowball's going to delay his death, pulling it back. Kuro now trying to run himself away, but the Ooks are still there. Vacuum up 3-man Echo Slam! There it is from Puppey with the snowball on top, and VP quickly trying to retreat, but they've been caught. Lil, Laguna Blade, and the last right click catches him. Illidan, he's also running out of mana while Arteezy's trying to pick up as many kills as possible. Illidan will end up going down, and Team Secret just wiped 4 right in front of their base.
Oh man, that was such a beautifully well set up play. Zai with that vacuum. Puppey reads it as they're being sucked in. They overcommit a little bit too hard for Kuro. I mean, this is just Secret at the top of their game right now. They're really feeling it. This is when a team just really feels like they can execute whatever combo that they want, because the rest of the game has gone so well for them. I mean, Arteezy's just chasing everybody down at will. They're going to take this tier 3 tower down for free. They know that the sleep is down. They know that the RP is down as well.
Yeah, it seems like a full lane of Rax potentially with the Dusa down for another 15 seconds. At the very least, range Rax is going to be trying to be picked up. Nice blink dodge there. The ensnare will grab the range Rax. They're going to look for more. Got to be careful though. Lil's actually stolen Meld. Not a bad ability for Rubik, solely because he's got such a long range. And FNG, the rest of his boys will be able to push back Team Secret and defend their melee Rax. That's the important one. But still, losing tier 3 in a range Rax this early on to the game is a bad sign for Virtus.pro's chances.
It's just more of a net worth swing than you'd want to see right now. It's like 20K after that, same in experience, but I stress that VP can still do this. Like, I don't want to count them out just yet. This entire tournament has been about the comeback and how teams have been able to put it together, and VP's lineup is built for that. You still got ways to get back into this game, but it just gets harder as the game goes on because Secret are just feeling more and more bold. And this is not a team that's going to sit back like they did in that last game against, was it eHome? Like, they're playing incredibly aggressively from start one.
I feel like, though, now that they've kind of established some dominance, they can afford to sit back and farm for the next 5 to 10 minutes and just get those, like the way that EG played their game, right? They just build up such a huge net worth lead that by the time they go uphill, it's the death push. And if you manage to rebuff that, great, that's amazing, but it's just so unlikely because the enemy has such a large lead.
Yeah, it's a really good way to play. It's really passive, but there's nothing wrong with securing a 30K gold lead.
Yeah, exactly.
That means you can pretty much take 2 fights in a row, lose them, and still have a pretty decent sized lead.
I like this pickup. Poppy almost gets caught there. Turn around with the Fissure. And I love the Enchant Totem, just to make sure that situations like this, Lil is not able to steal the Fissure. I also love Arteezy's build, going for the Manta next. Incredibly glass cannon build, but if he uses the Manta at the right times, he can actually dodge so much.
Yeah, it's really good at breaking the global silence and getting out of a lot of spells. So it's a pretty easy pickup for him to make, but they're just waiting for the Roche Pit right now. They've got a trap in there, and they're going to farm out the map as much as they possibly can, and only send the supports into the jungle. So in case they get picked up.
In some trouble, DK Phobos going to need to help him out with an RP. Vacuum on it too. There's the wall on top. They managed to bring some of them away, but God is not going to be able to make that TP out. Kuro once again is there with the snowball. Now DK Phobos trying to stay ahead of Puppey. FNG's ready to go with the sleep if Secret moves too far forward. There it is. The sleep is out. He actually needs to help out Illidan. Looks like VP are not going to try and force anything out of this. They accept it. They have to blow the sleep to make sure everyone else stays alive, but this is now a prime opportunity for Team Secret to push into the base, knowing that there's 2 different big-time ultimates down.
Yeah, and that's probably even worse than not losing any heroes in this phase of the game. When you know that all their abilities are down, and here it goes!
They did it again! Team Secret! Beautiful combination that ensures a pickup on 2. And FNG's just sitting there going, I already blew my sleep. There's nothing I can do about this. Melee Rax goes down, and GG is the call. Virtus.pro. They didn't seem to stand a chance. Team Secret, once they got that slight lead, they held onto it so tight. It did not make any mistakes. Very well played, Team Secret. Walking away with the victory in game number 1.
And that's just perfect team play. They completely punished the lineup of VP, who opted to go for a few risky maneuvers, but it didn't pay off. The G silencer, that lane had to go well. Like the laning phase had to go nearly perfectly for VP to stand a chance, but I mean, Secret, they just played a really thorough game.
And Team Secret, a lot of people have said this about them. Once they're able to get one victory on a team, they usually just find they know exactly what you're all about and are able to find the openings to continue to pick up win after win. So it's going to be a tough job for our analysts to decide what VP need to do in game number 2 to make a comeback.
Thank you very much. There we go then. Game 1 in the history books. Team Secret notching up game 1. And they'll be back in the arena very shortly for their second game in this best of 3, of course. Another chance for Virtus Pro to come back into it. We are back at the panelist desk right now. We're also joined by a very special guest star. Swindlewinners, how are you doing?